Tell me about that again.
Well, so I was diagnosed when my daughter was just 9 months old.
Mm.
Okay. And long story short, I won't go into it, but I became a single mama when she was 1 month old. And her father has been in her life the entire time, but it was just that we weren't meant to be together. And so when she was 9 months, I was given the diagnosis. I had so much fear, so much fear. And it was really important to me. We were talking about when my head was shaved. So much came before that, but it was so important to me that my daughter was a part of my journey and that she would go through it with me and realize that no matter what happened to mommy, no matter how she changed in the way she looked, that I was still mommy, I was still me. And I think a lot of people, they tend to not tell their kiddos when they're going through a health challenge. And again, I have to understand that my daughter she was only 9 months, so she didn't understand it to the level that a 7-year-old could understand it, or a teenager. But my thought was always that I'm going to be as open and honest with her as much as I could be. So explaining to her what was going on. And so the picture that you're referring to, that's one of many. What ended up happening is that in order to kind of have her be part of the journey, and in order for me to see that there was going to be a future and that I was going to be abundantly healthy and able to look back at this time with my daughter beside me and saying, look what we went through together. Look at how strong Leanna and mommy are together. And so that photographic journey actually started 4 days after my diagnosis.
Wow.
And that was, I mean, we just got right into it, Sonia. We didn't even talk about anything.
It's so, and this is what I want to say about what you just told me, because you hit on so many points about, I did not have breast cancer. My mother had breast cancer, and I still miss her. And I don't know exactly when, but somewhere around when I was 6 or 7. So the idea that you said 7 years old or a teenager is so important, because I'm also a spiritual counselor, a spiritual practitioner. And I used to tell my clients, I'm not seeing clients right now, but I always told my clients that if they had a family, that they should have a weekly meeting, or at the very least, a monthly meeting with all members present. And I would tell them it didn't matter how old the child was. The child needed to be there. If they were a month, a week, a year, 10 years, 20 years, they needed to be there, because the decisions that you're making affect that child. And maybe they're not talking, but their presence in the midst of where you are having this conversation, their presence will affect you in a way that you're keeping in mind them, you're seeing them, they're seeing you, and you're recognizing, oh, wait a minute, maybe I should have a little bit different energy about this conversation or something. And my family was one who didn't tell me. And in the play, I have a piece called She Didn't Tell Me. And it's specifically about that issue, because as children, they pick up on things, and we know. And so it's important to your whole conversation about what you wanted her to know is that you are with her regardless. It's such a powerful thing to recognize and to do for her. So I just honor you for that. That's so great. That's so great.